Wait, do you ever get disappointed when you're showing someone something for the first time and you really want them to get it? And
No,
they
not
don't?
at all. I think
Yes.
Oh.
Matt knew exactly where I was
Absolutely.
going with that question.
I'm clearly an Eeyore.
I'm probably Rue.
I'm a Christopher Robin with a poo rising.
And then I get in a canoe and I'm like, Claire's don't like canoes.
No, they don't.
I'm afraid of this lake.
That's exactly what it was.
Ow.
It was a beautiful moment in our friendship. I was
literally in the middle of getting ready up and down the
Pathetic.
stairs. Ow. I was like, I'm trying to get my hair done. I'm like, God.
I don't think that's an accurate representation of my owl.
Well, you were in such pain you couldn't see clearly. So,
Trauma.
Thank you for listening to the Last Will podcast. I'm Matt Young. I'm a theater educator and a parent. And ever since I lost my father to cancer, I have been mildly obsessed with death. This is my last will and testament. J.R.R. Tolkien once said, "Not all those who wander are lost." That's right. Today's episode is all about travel. Hey, we've been off for a few weeks. Well, maybe more than a few weeks. We've been circling our horses and getting through the summer, and some of us were taking vacation breaks, but now we are back, and we have a slew of great episodes that we hope you will enjoy. So sit back, relax, and enjoy our episode on travel.
sure.
What do you mean, what are we doing? We're chewing ice.
Talking about Fade Not Away.
And the Dunaway experiment.
Yep.
What is that documentary called? Where'd my voice go?
It's called Faye. It's available on HBO.
Makes her sound like a sprite or a fairy.
Yeah,
The
well,
Faye.
anything but.
Anything but. Hey, welcome back.
Hi.
Even though we've been here, there were still donuts,
Oh, well, yeah.
you know?
One of these days, I'm not going to be able to do this anymore with the donuts.
Oh, you're just gonna... Wait, you're gonna quit?
I'm gonna have to.
Like, I cannot with these donuts.
But it's just like there's been an increase in mass in me, and
More of you to love.
it's a little uncomfortable.
Oh.
Like I'm just a little uncomfortable,
I hear you.
and as much, and it's a weird thing. Like I do this. I had like ice cream with a friend on Wednesday. Yesterday, I don't know. I fucked up dinner, so I ate saltines. You know, so
Saltines for dinner and then had ice cream for
popsicles.
dessert?
No, I didn't have ice cream for dessert. I don't know. It was just a weird evening of odd food. But this happens a lot to me. And then but when it comes like the sweets, I'm like, yes. And then I'll eat it. And then afterward, I'm like,
You don't feel good.
sometimes I don't feel
Is it
good.
mentally or physically you don't feel
Sometimes
good?
it's physically.
I hear you.
Sometimes I just feel heavy.
Yeah.
And I also like having like buy all new clothes to just fit your new body is expensive.
Yes. It's the way I've lived my life. I feel like.
It's I hate it. It makes me like I go like shopping that used to be like something fun for me is like not fun anymore.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what size I'm looking for. And then I put something on and it doesn't fit and then I just want to cry and leave. This is not what the topic
And then
is today.
somebody
No,
says,
no, but-
"Ma'am, this is a Wendy's."
I would get clothes and then I'd be like, I'm never wearing these big clothes again, and then I donate them, and then eventually I would need them again and go, what happened to that shirt that I loved that I donated?
Yeah.
So I keep it all now.
Well, the trick is to donate stuff that you know you're not going to miss.
Yes.
Does it give you joy?
One can't really know, can they?
Grady, do you ever donate clothes?
Absolutely.
Do you sell them or do you donate them?
No, donate.
What about sneakers? Do you donate sneakers?
Sure.
I know where you've donated sneakers.
You don't know me.
I have a bag of donated sneakers from Grady.
I hope they're not in a bag.
Oh.
No, they're out in display. Of course, they've been displayed.
We're going to look up something called GOAT, which is a resale platform. We're going to teach some commerce here
Oh,
in the
nice.
house.
Commerce is good.
Yep. Get all the Roblox bucks you want.
That's the other one. Anyways, welcome to the Last Will podcast.
Here we are.
We're getting started and we're moving and we're grooving. Today's topic,
Claire's ready to go home.
Claire doesn't
I forgot what today's topic is.
travel.
Travel.
We've decided to do travel. And at first I was like,
It could be
I got nothing to say about travel.
you just
Yeah,
got
that's not
back
even
from
true.
a trip, you know?
I did, but
You
like
travel
I
all the time.
to work?
No, you take trips.
That doesn't feel like I do.
I've heard of you taking trips in your lifetime.
Yes, in my lifetime, for sure, I've taken trips, but it's been pretty rare. It's the first time I've been on a plane in many, many years.
Well, that's legal reasons, so. But
Well,
Now-
so
now
good
it's
for
gonna
you.
get me in trouble.
no, now it's been lifted and you can fly.
Yes, thank you.
You're like Peter Pan of the skies now.
Aw.
The world the way it is. I got to get
Should
my
we start an
passport
airline
ready.
about that?
Should we? sue
There's already a
them?
bus line called that, and I think that's been pretty well received, so I think we'll keep it on the ground.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous because Peter Pan flies.
Peter
Peter Pan doesn't have a plan.
Peter
Peter
Plan.
Pan.
Peter Plan.
Peter
Bus?
Peter Plan's
Peter Pan.
Peter Pan has OCD. He runs HR. He's a registered.
Libertarian.
Yes. Yeah, you have to register if you're a libertarian. He's also a registered Christian Universalist, wedding planner, floral decorator,
Floor decorator.
floral decorator, floral.
No, I thought it said
He's a rural juror.
he's a bulger. What?
A rural juror.
Rural juror.
He sounds very busy for a fictional character.
Just because you have a lot of certificates doesn't mean anyone's calling.
Oh, okay. So, anyways, we decided to do travel today, and then the minute we decided that maybe we could do time travel, I got excited about it.
I
Well,
don't know about
I
to say time travel. Well, I could do that all day.
Wait, so are we doing? Well, time travel, I think, is a totally different subject.
No, it's
Is
not.
it?
Just the subject of travel.
Yeah, travel.
we could talk for an hour-ish about time travel.
Well, that's how long this is. So hit it.
Okay,
Did
I
it-
thought we were
did
talking
it-
about like going to abroad.
Okay.
No.
Yes, let's talk
Whatever.
about.
We
Well,
can.
let's begin where we begin, right? Which is the definition of travel.
Okay.
Travel is the act of moving from one place to another, typically over a distance. It involves journeying to different locations, either for leisure, business, or other purposes. Travel can be done by various means of transportation, such as cars, trains, planes, boats,
Or being pushed.
or even on foot. It often involves exploring new destinations, experiencing different cultures, and engaging in various activities outside of one's usual environment. Travel can be the means of relaxation, adventure, education, or personal enrichment.
And stress.
What else do we have to say? I mean, I think we got it all done there, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically that's traveling for that's what I was thinking we were going to talk about today.
Right.
I wanted to talk about space travel.
That was the other one that I got excited about. I was like, oh, space travel. Like, how many miles is it to the moon? It's like 289,000 miles.
Well-
it's like 7 days to get to the moon.
Wait,
but
that's
not
it?
important.
That's not
No,
280,000 miles.
Okay, everybody calm down.
289,000 miles. Yeah.
Does anyone in this home know how long it gets to the moon?
That's too fast.
It's like 7 days. If you're going like the Apollo thing, it's about a week to get there. I think we could probably get there quicker now. No? Grady's making a face at me.
A week?
Yeah, to get to the moon.
So from here to I don't know what everyone's
Maybe 5
thinking at
days?
this table right now. I'm thinking that that's not far enough. Is that?
You think the moon is farther than that?
Yeah.
298.
That took 6 months to get to the moon. Oh no, that's
no,
sorry, that's
no,
Mars. That's
no,
Mars.
no.
That's Mars.
It's 9 months. 9 months, depending on where Mars and the Earth are.
Okay,
I
And then
guess
they're
we're driving an old
closest.
Cadillac Eldorado. With no wheels on it.
well, we don't need wheels for have the air.
Getting the family truck
It
to
takes
head to the
about
moon
3 days.
to get to the moon.
Yeah.
Oh, so I was
I want
wrong.
to say it's about
How many miles?
240,000 to 40.
What does your little computer in your hand say? When I did research,
Okay,
for
so this is
a
fun.
play called The Dark Side, which was about Apollo 18 mission.
You retained that.
We learned. I drew the whole lunar console and my little diary book and.
So how fast is our vessel taking us to the moon? Like, what's the average miles per hour?
miles per hour. Grady.
You're going to have a spacecraft that'll travel at least 240,000 miles.
All right, so it's off
An
by
hour?
40,000 miles.
About 3 days to reach the moon.
40,000 miles.
So how long does it take to get from ground, Earth ground,
Yes.
And
to
to reach the Earth's atmosphere?
to get out of Earth?
I doubt very.
I think you circle around the moon and then have like a burn as you're coming around the moon so you could get out of the atmosphere towards the moon. I think is how it works. No, am I wrong?
I'm
not
you
an
so
expert.
much. I just like you talking about stuff.
Grady,
As I think-
Grady's sitting there like smiling as if he has all the answers.
I don't. Well, I mean, I might a little bit, but it's fun to watch y'all.
Try.
swim around. Well,
Okay,
little
but
bit
no one
too.
answered my question. How long does it take to get out of
okay.
Earth?
How about this? This is what you want to know.
Yeah.
Okay. So it take you about 142 days or almost 5 months to drive to the moon
Okay, not
in like a
interested.
Hyundai Elantra.
Not interested in driving.
Why would you travel that long?
I
in
don't
an
know. I'm
Elantra?
giving you fun facts.
Do you get to stop on the way?
You're gonna stop and get a Bellini.
Are you getting a Bellini?
Let's get drunk and then keep going.
They're just flavorless Jello shots. So here we go.
All right.
It's not what a Bellini is.
So you need, on average,
thought it
if
was a
you could
donut.
drive in a straight line at 100 miles an hour in your Hyundai Elantra,
Why an Elantra?
it would take you in
I'm
your
not-
Hyundai Ultra. I don't
I'm
know.
not
I don't
driving a
know cars.
Hyundai.
I'm just saying dude, something roomier for my knees. I'm a tall guy.
Are
If
you
you were
driving, Matt, or are you sitting while someone else drives?
Are you? I thought maybe you drive. No.
I'll drive. Yeah,
We'll
that's
switch
fine.
off. We'll switch off.
If you want.
We'll stop at the gas station, get Bellinis.
Get a Bellinis. I'm just
Snacks.
gonna look
Who's
this
bringing
up on my
snacks?
own then.
Keep reading, Grady. Please.
I like
trying.
this. I think we should. I think you guys. I want to hear what you guys want to take with you on your trip to the moon.
Okay.
Yeah, like what kind of car do you want to be in, or what vessel do you want to be in?
I thought we weren't in a car. You're not allowed to be.
Sorry,
anymore.
what vessel? It could be any vessel. It could be
we
a
could
tunnel.
take anything.
Yeah.
NASA's last
I'd
space
like to
shuttle.
take a train to the moon.
So NASA's last space shuttle reached Earth's orbit in about 8.5 minutes.
I'm sorry.
So-
Earth's orbit. So how close is that to? Sorry. Say that again.
Okay. Just start again. You get to space in about 8 minutes.
From Earth to
Not
to
the-
out of Earth.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Oh,
You're,
8.5
you're,
minutes.
you're going to pass through ozone, all that, Arby's. That's on the left. There'll be a CVS. Keep going straight.
Look, I told you to go to the
If-
bathroom before we left, so
if you-
we are
yeah.
not stopping at Arby's.
Try
or
to do a
CVS.
2 for me. Try to do a 2 for me.
Hmm?
And what else did you want to know? Like what spacecraft we're in?
I thought it was a creative exercise.
On what?
On what? How do we want to go to the
what is wrong
moon?
with
What?
him?
What? He's cranky. He got up early. He was sleeping so
I
peacefully.
did not come in here.
He was sleeping peacefully, and then he got disturbed.
No.
he was sleeping
Excited
like a
5
vampire.
minutes ago, and
no,
now he's.
you came in. You came in wishing people dead.
What?
I did not.
How dare you?
What? So what?
So, what kind of transportation do you want to take to the moon? And then what 3 items? Right, 3 items
No,
that you're taking.
I didn't say 3.
Oh.
I'm imagining a lot. Like it's a long trip.
Oh, you're packing a couple suitcases.
I'm
How
not
long-
packing suitcases. This vessel is meeting me at my house. I'm putting all I need in it, and then we're coming from my house.
Are you
up.
living now on the moon? Or are you just taking
no,
a
it's just
vacation?
it's a 3-day trip. That's a long time to be
So
like.
that's where we got in the 3 days. So there is a 3 in there. Don't make Matt think he's crazy.
I'm a little crazy.
I thought
though,
you
so-
said 3 days.
No, I said nothing about the trip. I don't like this trip. I don't like how it's being planned. I don't want to be in a car.
We're not going to be in a car.
Look, you can with a little bit of research, you can become the expert about moon travel that you obviously are
I
getting
want
to
the
be
abilities-
like you are to Disney.
You're the one that wanted to talk about space travel.
I just said it would be cool. I want the abilities from the dude in About Time.
Can I use Genie Plus in a lightning line?
No,
to get
Genie
the
Plus
moon?
is now defunct.
Oh.
You were one of the last people to use it.
Oh wow, that's so
It's
sad.
now
But About Time
Lightning
doesn't go
Lane
to the moon.
Plus.
Does that apply to space travel?
It could.
What do you mean? The movie About Time?
Yeah, because he said he wants to travel like the About Time guy.
Oh, so no, he wants to get into a closet that's dark, close his eyes, and go, I'm on the moon. That's what he wants to do.
But I
he
would-
doesn't want to travel.
But
That
I can't,
sounded
but
like
I
you
can't
were
do
trying
that
to
'cause
poop.
you can only travel to places
what you
you've
do.
been to. So I've never been to the moon, so I couldn't go to the moon.
oh,
Remember, you can only go
Yeah,
to
yeah,
places
you're right.
that you've
Yeah,
been
yeah.
to.
You're right.
There are very specific rules with that one.
Let me just say that we are confusing time travel and space travel at the same thing, and this is a podcast about travel. So let's take them separately. We don't have to do space time
I'm in no
travel
hurry.
at the same time we're doing space travel. We can do space travel first.
My Elantra's double parked. I'm good.
I can't believe you bought an Elantra. It's just not roomy enough or sporty enough for you. I'm sorry, Elantra. I don't mean to throw shade.
That's
All right,
okay.
so let's get. Do we have to Chekhov's gun? Do we have to answer these questions about going to the moon? What are we taking to the moon before we move on?
I would like to. I guess I would like to just go through this.
Okay, fine.
What are you taking? What are you taking on your trip to the moon?
It's post-apocalyptic.
I'm taking my new sneakers for sure
You can't
because
use
they're very
them
comfortable.
when you go there.
Well, I'm still
all
gonna
rules
have-
don't apply. For whatever reason, gravity is stabilized. You can walk on the moon. There's something happening out there. Some kind of colony. It's post-apocalyptic, and you can't deal with anybody else but yourself.
I was just gonna go tomorrow.
Right. Well, you're not scheduled till Friday.
You
so
may forget something.
What are you
I
bringing
mean,
with
because
you?
it's really quick. The turnaround time here is very quick.
The Earth is dead.
No. Okay, Grady's got his post-apocalyptic scenario. Mine is this week.
Okay.
I want to go this week
Because
Yep.
your schedule won't allow. But
because
very busy, very
I
busy.
want to. I think it'd be fun. I like to plan last minute, right?
Okay.
And then Matt, what's
exciting.
your scenario?
I think I want to plan. I want to take a train because I want one of those trains that go through the Alps with the big windows, so you can see the Alps.
Like-
I once took a train from Switzerland to the.
you want to do
the
an Orient
Berchtesgaden,
Express, right? Which I'd love
Germany,
to do as well.
So
The Polar Express.
you know,
So
Some of those trains are they're quite beautiful.
right? Maybe a sleeper train. I want to
yeah.
take a sleeper
Well,
train.
of course,
to
it's a
the-
3-day trip.
Orient
so,
Express.
according to the internet.
I'm taking the Orient Express.
And then I think I'm gonna if it's still the moon, I want to take the train around the moon. So that I stay in. I don't have to get out and go onto the moon.
You don't want to go
But I can-
onto the moon?
but I can see it all.
That's why you want to bring your sneakers.
Yeah.
Why don't you want to go on it?
I just don't need to. I just love its beauty. I could just look at it.
But you won't see it all if you're on it. I mean, if you're around it. Wait, also, I have a really important question.
Okay.
What happens to the sun when you leave Earth's orbit? Like, do you have to avoid looking at the sun?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so what should we bring sunglasses?
Yes,
Polarized?
yes. I mean,
That's
they're
gonna be-
built into the if you're going
built
on
into the suit.
an EVA, like if you're going on an
EVA.
excursion, it's built in there and you just slide it down.
You're in the suit, so you already have that. Don't think about that stuff.
Well,
All that
Matt's
stuff's
not.
built
Matt
in.
doesn't have a suit.
They give
No,
it to
but
you
I
on
have-
the.
I have
They
special
give it to you on the
windows. I have special
train.
windows.
They give it to you on the train.
I just wear the helmet.
He's not
I'm on the
getting
train
out.
in a
Yes,
helmet.
that's all he is. On the train in a helmet and nothing else.
Okay, what about
Wait
you?
a second.
He's on a soft upholstery and just nothing else, and like a modesty cloth.
Okay, what about you,
Thank
Grady?
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the cloth.
A modesty cloth.
Yeah, that goes
I
over
am
like your
modest.
knees in
Yeah,
church.
yeah.
Women wear that in the South, and their over their knees in church, so you don't show your bare knees.
Bare knee sauce is my favorite.
Grady, what's next? Go ahead.
Well, my scenario is different because you can't bring anything but you.
I want music too. I want music while I'm looking at the moon.
But
on
if
my
you're
train.
on that train, they're gonna have music. But what if it's only one album, like Rod Stewart does Motown?
No, then I want an
This
adapter
old
for my
heart of
phone.
mine.
Bluetooth. I want Bluetooth on my train.
Okay.
And I want to bring my phone so I can take pictures.
Your phone's gonna die. Where are you gonna plug it in?
The train doesn't have an outlet.
I can tell you this right now. Post-apocalyptic, y'all on your own. Don't look at me. Get away from me.
You're
I
not
am
gonna
very
help us?
resourceful. No, you're trying to bring an iPhone. There's no charging anymore. There's no electricity.
What
Is there
about
any
solar?
Wi-Fi in the moon?
Yes,
in
there will
space?
be solar power.
So why can't I just plug into a solar?
Because we
thing?
don't know what plug it'll be at that point. It'll be the iPhone 21 by the time
We don't
get
know
there.
what time period Matt's traveling in.
Yeah,
He's traveling in 1831.
No, he's not.
That's
He's
a,
bringing
that's a coal. It's a
sneakers.
coal engine train that you're trying
I'm
to get
so
me
sorry.
to
Here,
ride it.
1949.
I was hoping for an Excella. Anyways,
Anyway,
So,
he wants to bring his sneakers.
I
Those
think
are
it's very. I
21st
think the thing
century.
we've learned, Claire, though, is if there's a post-apocalyptic, whatever, Grady's leaving us behind.
Well, or find out where I am because it'll be tight. I'll let you in.
Give us a secret word that we can say at the door to get us in.
Don't tell him. Don't say it here.
Why not?
Well, because everyone was gonna try to get
No
in.
one's listening.
Fun home.
Fun
Oh,
home.
nice.
No, I'm
Nice.
kidding. I would have some kind of. I mean, I'm assuming when I get there is nothing there. I have to bring my own shit. There will be some food, maybe.
You said you
On the
were-
moon, you can go hunting.
Are you leaving?
Possibly.
Grady, are you leaving Earth
No.
because there's
Everyone
a
has to leave Earth.
and
It's
everyone's
dead.
going to the moon?
Not everyone. A lot of people are dead
well,
from
where-
the super flu.
But where can anyone else go?
It's not my problem.
But you're creating the scenario. I want to know more information.
I will take you with me.
I'm not gonna be living in this time period.
Well,
Claire is saying goodbye at the beginning.
I will have
Like, I'm
died
not-
in the
I'm-
apocalypse.
I'm not leaving.
Yeah,
I don't want to die in
All
the
right.
apocalypse.
I want to die in the apocalypse.
I just-
I'm not interested in post.
I would have a
life.
Kindle that would have at least over 1,000 books on it.
Oh, well,
I'd have to.
barking at me for not having a charger.
And plays. Books and plays. I would have.
So Grady's preparing to go to the moon to stay on the moon.
I have to. There's no one here.
I'm just reviewing the situation.
What is it?
for
By
the
and large,
listeners.
it's taken over, and
I don't know what's happened, but I don't have time to figure it out.
and
People
now
said
the
to go.
Earth is full of trash.
And you're
so
going alone.
Yeah.
We've just left a Wally back to build.
Oh.
You're going alone. Like there's no one. you
No
could
one
take
can
with
go
you?
with you. No one can go with anyone. Everyone's alone. You have to rediscover or find.
But what
people.
about your significant
You-
other?
you-
Is your
can't bring
is your ship
anybody.
is your ship just a one person escape pod?
No, you're with other people. Just you don't know them.
Oh,
So you aren't alone.
You're not alone, but you don't know people.
Grady, we need to help you make friends.
That
He's-
wasn't nice.
He has no problem making
No,
friends.
you're with all these people, and you're like, I'm alone.
Well, because you don't know if they're going to try to steal from you or kill you.
You're
or-
right. And in a post-apocalyptic story or a zombie
you
story,
have to
humans are the
make
worst.
camps.
Right.
You have
They're
to
always
make
worse.
camps. You can
Just be your charming self, and
Oh, so
everybody
you're
will
the
want
guy.
you.
You're the solo guy who has like the wing at the end of the vessel, and everyone kind of like stays away from you because they hear all these rumors about you, like what super secret powers you have.
When in
Secret
actuality, I was
superpowers.
just a kindergarten teacher that was good, at math.
But we only find that about 3/4 of the way through the story.
Exactly. When the plane blows out and I'm able to fix the entire.
Oh, it's a plane.
Because of your math skills.
Yes, and also duct tape.
Math skills and duct
Okay,
tape.
so Matt's going on a train. Grady's going on a plane.
I'm getting out of here however I can.
I'm going in a tube.
Like a like down the river tube? Like a
Like-
a circular tube that you sit your button and
Like
float
a
down the
lazy
river. You're
river
just floating
tube?
down the river to the moon?
I want you to just picture. Claire
Or
with-
do you mean
Claire
the
with two
subway?
handles, and she wants to face. Picture Claire. Here we go. Claire, the two handles on the inner tube, and she wants to. The Earth's so beautiful, but it keeps turning her. And she's trying to enjoy the view. God damn it! She's
leaning back her head
over
the end of it. Yes.
It's so
She's
beautiful.
seeing it upside down.
And then it just starts to spin so much that you end up throwing up and letting go of the inner tube, and we've lost you.
I'm dead. I'm like,
You already said you wouldn't make it.
I wonder how long it would take to
Seconds.
To float to the moon?
just to die in space.
Ah,
I think it happens pretty quick. Unless you're watching a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. And then it
then
happens
you have time
just
to
long enough.
crystallize enough so somebody can go, I got you. Thanks. I was freezing.
This was so cold.
It's so cold. Yeah.
I would have shivered, but I was frozen. Well, I think we figured it out. This is our space
okay,
travel
that's
I
section.
haven't figured out the end of my journey.
No.
You said you were just there for a few days.
It's a vacation for you.
You're up there.
I
at
guess,
the,
yeah,
You're
like
there
some
at the Courtyard
sightseeing.
Marriott.
Yeah.
The Sea of Tranquility and
Yeah.
And you already had
some
your
other-
inner tube, so you're going to land in the lazy river on property. They'll just
Okay.
they'll just check
Just
you in.
float you
the
around.
current. I do like picturing you being turned around and not wanting
Is
to.
the moon all inclusive?
Yeah.
Is that?
Oh yeah.
Have everything you need.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
You don't have to ask for
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. Wi-Fi password is moon.
It just doesn't
Lu-
give you just
Luna.
no
Lunar one.
gravity
Yeah.
gravity not included.
No, that's true.
I love that. That's a great slogan. Welcome to the Marriott Courtyard Marriott. Gravity not included. This is Jan. So that's space travel. Great. Done. Now.
Let's talk about, so being a parent, you always kind of think like, I don't want to just get my kids things. I want them to have experiences and stuff like that. I think that's a huge thing. I grew up, I had all these experiences when I was a kid. We went to all these different places. So like, let's talk about that. What are the places that you traveled to as a kid that you remember? Was there one specific routine space? Like for me, because my grandparents lived there, we would go to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It was kind of like Pompano Beach, really, Florida, like at least twice a year to visit them. Like that was just part of my upbringing. We just always went to Florida.
Wherever your family is.
Yeah. And I hated it.
Oh.
I absolutely hated it because I was the in-between age of kids that were there. We used to live in a complex called, where my parents had an apartment in a place called Palm Air. And I used to have to sleep on a pull-out bed, at least in the first apartment that we had there. And all the kids were either younger than me or like my sister's age and older. And so I never really connected to a lot of kids that were there. And so that was really like hard as a little kid, going on vacation. Felt very, very alone. I felt very, very alone a lot in my life. I wonder what that's about. So I really like...
But you didn't not like the place. It was like your experience.
Yeah, but I think I just, as a kid, I couldn't separate the two, really. It was just like, oh, we're going to Florida again. And look, what a privilege it would be to take those vacations. My kids don't get those types of vacations that I had, but, I was a self-involved kid, so I really it felt like a nightmare to me to go to Florida.
Is there anywhere you'd like to travel half time, live somewhere half time, and travel somewhere?
Start again. One more time.
I was with you.
Is there anywhere that you'd like to live that you travel back and forth from all year? You live in one place half the year?
Oh, like the people do today, like half.
Yeah.
So they're always in summer or something?
No, I'm sure if that's your
The
choice.
snowbirdie people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but let's hold off on that question for a little bit. Let's talk about our childhood. Yeah. I'll put you in your place. I'm keeping us on. Look, that's my job. My job is to keep us on target.
Yes.
When we're not on target.
Okay.
So I put my face in the microphone.
Childhood.
So was there any place in your childhood that you have great memories from that you visited?
Sailing camp every summer.
Oh.
Okay, where was that in terms
North
of
Carolina.
like how far away it was from where you live?
Far away enough. I'd be gone from home for a month month.
It was sleepaway camp?
Oh, yeah, big time. Yeah. So I'd be gone for a month and a half. Loved it. Did not want to come back.
Would you
Cried. But
Like to
spent most of the time by myself.
Would you like to rethink how you get into the moon? Maybe you want to sail to the moon.
Yeah, I think I should do that.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's the great ending of the movie. The Grady's movie about the apocalypse and moon travel, and he ends up sailing to the moon. That's the end of the show. That's the end of the movie.
Yeah, he waves goodbye to the apocalyptic Earth.
Then I meet
He gets into a sailboat.
Meet the older little prince who's kind of bitchy now and wants to fight me for the land and stuff. Here we are. Thank you, Claire.
Was there a family vacation that you guys went on?
We had at our family lake house. Went to the beach a lot. I did so much theater though that it was always hard for me to go anywhere.
When you were that young?
Yeah.
Was theater
started
before or after sailing camp?
I usually go second session, which would be like right now, which would be
Okay.
like July through
August.
August.
So part of your DNA feels like it should be on the water right now. Tacking.
Yeah, sure. I'd love it. Alone. That's so much time in sailboats alone.
How old were you when you went to that camp?
7 summers, maybe.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know.
Did you ever become a camp counselor?
Counselor CLT. No, never a counselor. I was in theater. Once again,
what does CLT stand for?
counselor in training.
CIT.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
CLT.
I don't know what-
CUNT. Jeez. Wow. Yeah, those are good summers. I mean, actually, they honestly weren't great summers. People were very unkind to me. I was bullied a lot.
But you could escape onto the sea.
Yeah, I still kept going back. Funny enough. But yeah, spent a lot of alone time. Great to be alone on the water with a book. Ruined many a book in the ocean. Oops. Yeah.
Salty pages.
Yeah. Well,
It's okay.
once the ocean takes it, it takes it. Ocean takes what it wants.
Was it the ocean or was it a lake?
Ocean. Palmico Sound that opens into the Atlantic. So you're in salt water. You're in the ocean. It's just a little more. Yeah, you're in the ocean.
That's nice.
You learn a lot of you learn a lot about yourself being alone on the water.
Yeah, I mean, we've all read The Life of Pi. So.
We have. It's a great book, isn't it? Yeah,
Well,
it didn't have to.
Did you lose that one on at the?
Well, the tiger left.
Oh, Tiger took it.
Yeah.
He didn't even have a sail, actually. He didn't have a sail.
No,
No,
because
he
he
had
was
a
just
platform.
Yeah. Was it a raft? No, it was a boat.
This isn't Big River. Listen, I was
Oh,
on
I'm
a.
sorry.
I think it was a boat.
In Life of Pi?
Wasn't it a boat?
I thought he was just on a raft.
There was a lot of boat language in that book that I did not understand when I was reading it. So I thought everything seemed bigger than it should have been in my
Yeah.
imagination.
Traveling by boat slows everything down in a good way. You have no control other than what you can control with your vessel. You have no control whatsoever. I think that's why people like cruises so much. You're out in the middle of nowhere. You can't. Nothing to do. Well, there is. There's all-night gambling. And
I've
shrimp scampi.
never been a cruise person.
They have filled it with shrimp scampi, my friend.
They have. But I think that's why people like those kind of things. That I don't know.
Well, because they don't have to organize it. It's
Everything's
all there
just
for you.
there. You just go. There's.
I mean, you could say that about Disney too. It's like the
True.
thing about a Disney vacation is that there's all of this stuff.
that you have to walk to.
Yes, you have
It's
to
a very-
walk to, but it's
a
all,
very
but it's
physical.
all there.
It's a very physical. It's a physical challenge. Anyone that thinks Disney World is not a physical challenge, you are sorely mistaken.
Yes,
You almost need prep before you go.
I was thinking that before.
You
but
do. You
I was like,
treadmill
I'm
prep.
not in shape for this.
You do treadmill prep. Seriously, get out in the heat.
I don't know that you're totally without control on a boat because I mean
You can control the vessel
Yeah,
and where you're steering, but I mean the winds can change at any second.
You
The
can sit in
water
the
changes at
doldrums
any
and-
second. Yeah, you never know what you'll see.
weather.
The perfect storm.
Yeah.
The Andrea Gale. What about you, Claire?
I had a lot of fond memories of traveling when I was a kid. We had a house in Cape Cod. We went there every summer. I had family in the Cape. That was always fun for me. Lots of beach time, ice cream. We went up north. So Vermont, we had a great place in New Hampshire that I loved going to. It was mostly like a kid's place. It was called East Hill Farm. And it was like, you could go to the chicken coop and see if the chickens had laid eggs, and you'd bring the eggs to the kitchen, and then they would serve you your egg for breakfast.
Very country fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was mountains. We'd go hiking. I have fond memories of going in this pond and going in a paddle boat with my dad and my sister, and we'd go fishing. I think we would just do catch and release. Because what were we going to do with those fish?
Yeah, you guys were we eat the eggs. You caught the eggs and you eat them, but the fish, forget it.
Yeah.
You know.
Those poor fish. We probably hooked the same fish every year.
He's like, oh, not again.
Yeah.
But they had to be pretty
Not
happy that it was
again.
you, because you weren't eating them.
Right?
Yes,
Not
well,
again.
There was not again, and there were these sunfish that actually had
That's what I first learned to
these-
sail on.
the scales were spiky. So we would catch one.
Yeah.
My poor dad, he would have to unhook the hook from the fish's mouth and then hold this fish that was trying to cut him,
Yeah.
and he would have to try and hold its fins down.
So it wouldn't
And
spike
so it
him.
wouldn't spike him, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
throw it in. And he was always had cuts on his hands, and
Why wouldn't he wear a glove?
I don't know.
They didn't have gloves back then.
Yeah, it was.
They weren't invented.
1831.
Yeah, no.
We had
But
Werthers.
yeah, I
but
did
no-
horseback riding, made some friends. And then I went to summer camp. My first summer, I was really homesick,
Yeah.
and it was very, very sad. But I still made the best of it. Like I made some good friends.
So
and I
you
went
wouldn't have
back.
wanted to go away for like a month and 3 weeks.
Well, I ended up doing it. I got my
Yeah, but that's like straighten up camp. Then you get sent to like where you have to go in the woods and
We did actually do that.
beat your clothes on a rock.
Oh no, we didn't do that. We did some cool like woods adventures.
Scared straight.
But
But you had there was, I remember, I think what Grady's getting at is there was a discipline camp. There was a camp where you got
There's
sent
been
away.
a whole documentary
Not
on that
because
now.
you were
Paris Hilton got
needing
sent to one.
discipline, but because
yeah, no, we didn't. This wasn't a discipline camp.
So you did
This
a lot
was-
of family trips together and family like stuff together.
Yeah.
That's cool. I don't have that.
Yeah.
I don't have that.
And then the
experience.
summer camp, which is great. And then eventually, because the summer camp was in Maine, then we would vacation in Maine as a family. I would say pretty enjoyable times. And if there
very cool
were
for you.
if there were bad times, which I'm sure there were, like on those trips,
You don't
I
remember
guess I don't remember them.
them. Good.
There was a lot of like my own, like what was very important to me at that time was having candy and music.
you got to set a standard for yourself, you know.
Like a Discman with my Celine Dion CDs.
Yes, music always. I always had music. Always had music with me. Even with my waders on out on the sailboat, I always had music
Yeah.
with me. Always had my Varnays on, sunglasses,
Varney sunglasses.
croquis, yeah, tan, fresh, reading, writing, or listening to music.
You need a sailboat, my friend.
Yeah, I miss it.
Yeah, we only went places where we could drive because my mom was not a
There was
flyer.
no sailing for you. Oh, okay.
Yeah, my mom was not a flyer.
Wow.
I tried sailing at camp and it was unpleasant.
I did too. I liked it, but I just was never very good at it. So
It
they
just
never
takes
let me do
practice.
it
Yeah, it
By
was, and it
myself.
wasn't like
It's just practice.
yeah. They just taught us how like what are the parts of the boat.
When you first start learning to sail, like at camp, you're with a buddy
Yeah, I was
until you can sail alone. Then you gradually you have a book. There's a green book for land and a blue book for sea. And in your sea book, you get checked off on different things that you learn until you become a midshipman or a captain or whatever.
I just didn't understand. Like, I was on a boat with a couple people, and then the instructor, and
Already
then
post-apocalyptic. This is who you want.
and then they would be like, "Here's the parts of the boat, and then this is what you do." And it didn't feel like we did anything. And then all of a sudden, the counselor's like, "And see," and it's like, oh, "See what?" Like I didn't think we were moving. I didn't see any wind in the sails. It just didn't seem exciting to me, like in any shape or form, until I had to go out by myself, and then the shit hit the fan. It was so windy. The girl I was with, we were
It must have been a little sunfish, probably.
It was a it might have been. I think it was
It's
a sunfish. Yeah.
So your sunfish
Couldn't
is
stop
your
capsizing.
101.
Phantom, right? Weren't those the two like?
Yeah, I believe that what you're talking about is like the competition for the sunfish. They're just two
Yeah,
little
yeah.
one to two.
Coke and Pepsi.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I had a good
Did
time
you
windsurfing
capsize?
though. Oh, 1,000 times.
That's great. Isn't that
It was
fun?
It was
So
fun, and then
just
eventually I was
capsizing yourself
like,
is so much
okay,
fun.
I have no.
But then you
skill-
realize you're
skills.
reading a book while you're capsizing, and then now the book's gone.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Just
like,
at the good part, I'm imagining.
like why I would go sailing if I'm just
Often,
gonna
yeah.
capsize.
I do remember dropping a book at the end of the dock at our lake house. I must have been like 8 or 9, and there were maybe 7, 8 pages left.
Oh, that's awful.
Pick that shit up. Nah, ruined. Had to wait to
There's no
get
way.
back home,
Yeah. How's it going to end?
get a new copy. Luckily, I had
Although
other
a good
books
book
with me.
we should add some sort of resolve at that point.
You know, there was a twist. I remember the book by Paula Danziger. I believe it was The Cat Ate My Gym Suit.
Okay. I don't know that one.
They were like early YA teen romance novels, but they were always girl and boy, and at the end, the boy and the girl kiss. And you think of the life that you'll never have as a gay child. And then, now here we are.
Yep.
So those were like our childhood traveling stuff. For me, it
And
makes
Disney every summer too.
okay. Well,
Had
that's
family in Florida, so we were Disney almost every summer.
that's nice.
I didn't. Yeah, actually,
We did
it
Disney
was.
a bunch of times. as a kid for sure. And those were obviously much better memories than just Pompano Beach. But
Never
the
went.
the best travel of my life, I think, is when I studied abroad.
London.
You
Well,
know,
see, you traveled.
yes, I did.
And you got to live there for a minute, didn't you?
You never forget that. That's a major traveling experience. A lot of people don't get that.
No, and I would highly recommend that, and I will absolutely push my kids to doing that. I got to study my junior year in college. I got to spend 3.5 months in London studying theater, which is a beautiful town to study theater. It's the first city I really lived in where I
fucking
was
badass
independent.
city.
I had to
Mm.
learn how to use the tube, which is very, very clean.
Small.
And it was
Tiny.
a whole semester of work. So we had classes. We had like one class every day, but we had like 7 classes. And every night we would go to the theater. We lived in a flat around Earl's Court, in between Gloucester and Earl's Court, those 2 stations. And we had to find our way to the theater every night. We picked up our tickets on the board in our flat, in our shared flat, and we had to get find our way to the theater. And every Monday we would discuss the theater that we saw, but we had very few nights off. So I saw about 68 plays in the span of 3.5 months. And my other classes were like, we had an acting class with an acting teacher. We had a history class, which was basically like a packet of 30 different places that we were supposed to visit and write about. So it was very independent. You had to do it on your own time. I had to go to all of these places within the city. Some of them were the portrait gallery. The others were the Tower Bridge. You know, you had to do all of these things, but you had to do it independently on your own. On Friday, we had an architecture class where we had this Transylvanian teacher. I think his name was Ivan, and we would go on trips all over England, really. You know, one weekend we went to Bath. Another weekend we went to Stratford
love
upon
Bath.
Avon.
Bath is
We take
awesome.
little like hour trips. We went to Stonehenge, and this was our class on Friday. So it was pretty like independent, but it had such a huge effect on me. First of all, I gained a great appreciation for my parents because I felt so grateful to be there. So I just was like, thank you for doing everything that you've done for me to get me to this place. The theater was exceptional. Obviously, I saw people like Judi Dench and Jude Law, and saw Arcadia for the first time, which has become one of my favorite plays. You know, we saw some garbage too that was really, really tough. The English like to spit while they act a lot, and I think I've taken up that. I'd like to do a little spitting on stage.
Wait, like out
Just
of
when you speak.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not like "Tua."
Oh.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Sorry, it came out that way.
Yeah, it did. So it definitely had a huge effect on my director's brain, seeing that much theater and understanding why I liked what I liked, why I didn't like what I didn't like, how to maneuver people around stage. Taught me so much about story. You know, my favorite thing is theater, so to be like immersed in it that way was pretty like a powerful experience. And then we saw some things that just will never leave me. We saw a beautiful play called 2 Weeks with the Queen, which I've never really seen anywhere else, about a young Australian boy who was sent to live with like his uncle in England because his
you've
mother is
discussed this
sick.
with me. I can't find it anywhere.
I think I have a copy of it somewhere, but it's a
Oh,
beautiful
take that out.
play that I think I want to say we saw at the National. We saw everything at the National. We saw everything at the Barbican, and then we saw
Young
stuff
Vic.
like we did see. You know, the first time I ever saw Cats was on this trip in London, and it was a matinee, and it wasn't so bad. You know, I've seen worse. When my mom and my sister came to visit me, we got tickets to Miss Saigon. So that was
Nice.
another thing that we saw, which was pretty.
theater is beautiful.
Oh no! I'm sorry, it wasn't Miss Saigon. That was
Les Mis?
an old friend, a girl I dated for like 3 weeks or something, who moved back to England. Her parents were. She came with us to Miss Saigon. No, we saw Phantom when my mom and my sister came, and god damn, is that awful! It's just the worst play ever. They
Good
kept
music.
singing. Ugh. My favorite Andrew Lloyd Webber, I think, is Jesus Christ Superstar, because as a little Jewish boy, it's the only way I really learned about Christ. But outside of that, I'm just not a fan of that.
Yeah, I really loved the movie, and I didn't see it. I didn't see the show before the movie. So when I
Okay.
saw the play, I was like, I thought it was awful.
Do you wish you had stayed in London?
Yes, I always wish I
Just had gotten a job at a pub under the table and just stayed for a while?
and stayed. Yes,
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
you.
yeah.
I know. I hear you.
it's
Loud
my
and
favorite,
clear.
definitely my favorite city.
It's actually an
because
easy
of this
city
experience.
to stay
Yeah.
for a minute.
And we loved it. We felt so independent. It was independence in a way that I don't think I had ever experienced before that. So that's my abroad story.
Love it.
Did you study abroad?
And that
You
was
did study.
1994,
94.
94, 95, or just 94?
No, the fall of 94.
Funny.
Yeah.
And then I was there right at the summer and fall of 95.
Just missed you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just missed ya.
What if we had met in London?
Well, you definitely could have seen Arcadia.
I was
Fair.
sitting most of the time at the Fringe Festival in Edinburgh.
We saw when we were there. They were just starting to construct the Globe Theater, like to do the redo the Globe Theater.
Right.
So we got a tour of the construction site.
That's very cool, actually.
Yeah, and then to have gone back, I don't know how many years later,
And
and
see
see
it.
Richard II there, it was pretty
fucking
yeah,
cool.
meant a lot to me.
So Grady, did you study abroad there too?
No.
Oh, you were just there.
There's a thing called the American High School Theater Festival, and this was the first iteration of it. They had invited maybe 4 or 5 high schools from the U.S. to come represent over there. So we were one of them, and I guess they chose them through the different competitions that you have: Southeast, Midwest.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. I did not want to leave at all.
Oh, I had so many opportunities to
wanna
go
leave
abroad, and I
at
didn't. There was like I don't remember where they went. It was my Latin class or something, or one of my classes went on a trip abroad to Europe, and I missed it. I don't know why. I think I was sick. I was sick my senior year of high school. I had mono, and it just left me like without
wipe
energy.
your year out.
Yeah, it like the last semester I couldn't. I was only focused on the musical at that point. So like going on a trip abroad was like out of the question. But
What was the musical?
it was West Side Story.
You were Maria.
Yeah, it was my bucket list. So that was like the most important thing.
This
in
was
my
high
life.
school?
Yeah. No, I actually never studied abroad because my parents didn't. I didn't quite have a focus in college. I just like my sister had a concentration in Irish literature, so she spent a semester in Ireland.
And she played the saxophone.
She played the saxophone in
Not in Ireland.
Not in Ireland.
No.
And so I didn't quite have a focus. I was just looking at all the study abroad programs, and I was like, can I go to Australia? And they were like, why? And I was like, because it looks cool. You know, they were like, if we're going to spend the money, like you have to pretty
Have
much
some focus.
make prove it to us.
Yeah, yeah.
And I couldn't, the only one that I could, that I was going to do was creative writing in Florence, Italy for a summer, and it was canceled.
Oh,
I know, it was awful. It was like a really short trip. It wasn't that expensive.
right.
And I know, but I firmly believe, like with the amount of focus that I had on my studies in school, is that I probably would not have done that well in a program abroad. I would
Yeah.
have mostly just wanted to travel instead of like go to class. So I just had more. My traveling abroad experience was my year after college. Is
Right. So you sent yourself
Yeah.
abroad afterwards.
I sent myself abroad.
Yeah.
I got the most fortuitous events. It's just my cousin needed help in Stewart Island. It's like the 3rd smallest island in New Zealand,
New Zealand.
and she was having her 2nd baby, and her husband is a commercial fisherman, so he was out for like weeks at a time.
Yeah.
So she wanted help with her firstborn, and she and I didn't really know each other too well, but
You might never have come back.
I didn't leave. I would have stayed if I had the money. I would have stayed, but in a way I did. Like
You were there for a long time, though.
I was only supposed to be there for about 3 months because your visa allows you to be there for 3
Right.
months. But I also had a travel writing gig. So I got some, and because my cousin had this, she was working for a travel publication in the United States for a publishing company. And she was like, she just happened to ask me, like, do you know how to write? And like, can you, what's your focus right now? And I was like, well, I just graduated with like a degree in English literature. So like I could probably punch something out if I needed to. So she gave me a travel writing gig through this publishing company. So I went there with a focus, with a job basically. And every one of my friends, like we graduated, and then 2 weeks later, like I got on a plane and I left the hemisphere. And I had a graduation party, and everybody was like, "You're so brave! I can't believe you're going!" Blah blah blah. And I had like no idea like how. There was like no real the weight of it didn't hit me until I
Right.
was leaving the gate in New York. I was like, "What am I doing?" But the 3 months, it was pretty clear to me, I think, after living there for like a month or two, that I was like, why should I go home? I don't have anything to do. Like, I don't need to go home to do anything. I don't have a job. I don't have family I need to go take care of or be with. So I applied for my working holiday visa, which grants you 12 months of if you're between the ages of 18 and 30. I think they've extended it at this point, but it allowed me to get any job I wanted. And because they want people to be there and work and have the exposure to their culture. And I did a couple different random jobs. I'll spare you the story, but it was, I feel like that was the one time in my life that I wasn't following in someone's footsteps.
Yeah, you were making your own path.
My sister,
Making your way downtown.
no one knew who I was. My sister, like no one knew me because of my sister or my family pretty much. Like I lived with my cousin in her little remote island, but then I went to Wellington, to the capital, and that's where I spent the next 9 months. And
That's very cool.
It was called Wellington.
It was so cool. But it was like, I kind of wish that I'd done more. Like there's so many things that you can do in New Zealand, and I was too afraid to like go on like a mountain hike, but I was a little too nervous to do that. Didn't want to go skydiving, didn't want to go bungee jumping, like.
But you were living there.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. I mean, there was.
You didn't have to do these touristy adventure things,
but I kind of wish that, like, it turns out when I came home, that's when I joined community theater, and I didn't do it prior. I didn't consider myself an actress at all, and
Did you do any theater over there?
Mm-mm. I just sang. I'd get really drunk and I would sing on the bar, like
That's
on the bar.
great.
And sing
I bet
karaoke.
people loved that.
Yeah, the singing was great, but there was no theater for me to participate in.
That you knew of.
Yeah, and I wasn't about to because I didn't think of myself as a theater, like an actress at that point. I would have liked to, but it was like I had no, idea of what acting meant to me at the time. So
like, your American accent's so good.
Oh God, that's what they all said, and I was like, my accent? No. You're the one with the accent.
Not in their country.
But when I came home, I met somebody in theater who actually had been in New Zealand at the same time as I was. But he had a totally different experience. Like he did the hiking. Like he did the stuff that you typically do when you go to New Zealand. Like you go to a vineyard, you go through the mountains, you do this. And I was like, where's Frodo? Like I was like,
yeah, you had a quest.
Oh God. I mean, that was probably the most exciting thing ever. I'm literally living in Middle Earth.
Yeah. I'd like to go see there. I'd like to go.
I would gladly give you your itinerary.
When I did travel to Australia for a wedding.
Yeah, you did.
With my ex-wife.
Seat on the plane too.
And it was awful. And and on our ride back, we got waylaid in New Zealand, and it was like we didn't know, but like if we had known, we would have stayed so that we could have looked, checked out New Zealand a little bit. But we only did a layover, so I always kind of.
Were you in the airport?
We were in the airport,
But
but
just gotten
that's
off
it.
and stayed for a few more days.
I know.
I've been to both places, and I spent a long time in New Zealand, so I really learned the culture. And when I went to Australia a few years back, I was just like, I don't really see the point of this place. Like, if there,
Easy.
well, I mean,
Easy.
as far as culture goes, like
Yeah.
the New Zealand culture to me was so rich.
Yes.
And I mean, they have a real history, like a lot of.
I mean, Australia does too.
No one.
Look, you have your biases, and I get it. That's fine. That's fine.
But there was, in New Zealand, like they're quick to tell you about it as soon as you get there. Like,
Yeah, they want to share it.
You know-
Look, I mean, I think Australia is. They're cooler than we are.
Way cooler. Way more advanced than everything.
But it's similar. I felt like Australia had their coffee was better. A similar feel to
Their coffee's
the
totally better.
United States. Just like it was like our cool cousin, really.
yeah.
Whereas I'm sure New Zealand has that.
Well, New
feels
Zealand,
like
New
London's
Zealand's the
like our-
underdog.
London-
New Zealand is to Australia as Canada is to the U.S.
right. And
We're-
I
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, like we all
Love
make fun of
Canada's
Canada,
culture.
like Australians
What?
make fun of New
Slow
Zealand.
down. Who makes fun of Canada?
Like everyone.
I've never made fun of Canada. When
you're
I'm
not-
in England, I often try to pretend like I'm Canadian as opposed to American.
Why?
Because they like hockey, they're fucking funny, and they're nice. Those are things that I
You're not finding in this area?
admire.
Well, you
no,
also
I don't
know
find
that
it in this
people
area.
put sometimes like Canada's the butt of someone's jokes. That you've never heard that? You've never
Yes,
experienced
no.
it? Yeah.
No, no, because I would not put up with that. Canada is
I won't be allowing that.
a superior
That's
nation.
not how we run. That's not how we run the business in this
I would be
company.
happy to live there if I ever get like on those dating apps and I say, "Oh, that person's from Canada." And I go, "Oh, I hope this is a match."
I didn't know you felt that way about
Oh
Canada.
my god! Of course I did. I grew up playing ice hockey, and I grew up like
I also didn't know that about
loving.
Who
the
was your
kids in the
team
hall.
growing up?
It was always the Rangers, but if I had to root for a Canadian team, it was the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh, mine was Maple Leafs.
But like when I was growing up and getting into hockey,
Canada's a goal.
Edmonton
get
was the
Yeah, you want to
know.
get up there and see a match, a hockey game match.
You know what? I feel like you say these things to hurt me.
No, I don't. I'm just saying. We're
We call it a match. No one's ever called a hockey game a match.
It's not called a hockey match.
It's not called a hockey match.
I do have a dear friend that did go to London to just go and travel a little bit. Got a job in a pub, lived above the pub, made her way, still there, married, kids, been there forever, never looked back. Went to visit her, ended up staying for a while, and came home because I just kind of felt like I had to. Actually, I was a member of a theater company, so I had to come home, but I wish I hadn't. There were opportunities there. I just kind of blew off. I was too young to understand. Like, this could be a gateway, Grady, to some serious shit if you just will hang around.
Yeah.
And I was like, whatever. Now I'm it is easier. I'm sure many artists in London would argue with me, but as compared to New York, it is easier to make a life in the theater outside of a community theater situation over
Yes,
in London.
but I would say that
than it
there's a
is
lot
here.
of Chicago, cities, yeah,
Minneapolis, yeah. But
here that are easier than New York. New
yeah,
York is,
I just once these cities that are easier than New York. Yeah, absolutely. New York, I think, purposely, willfully makes it so hard.
yeah.
Didn't used to be that way, but
What about adult travel? Like, I think it's important to take vacations. Obviously, I can't always afford to do it. I was very lucky to have a wonderful vacation recently at Disney World. I hadn't been there in many, many years to take my eldest, and we had a great time.
Y'all
built
did have
memories.
a great time. You did it right. You had a great time. I was thrilled. You
But
kept us
I
up
do
to
wish
date.
I could take them more places. And I wish I could take them. When thinking about this trip, I really did consider taking him to England. Just to get him out
do
of
the
the
Harry
country.
Potter tour.
The real Harry Potter tour, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but like, he's got other birthdays.
That's
And-
true.
And then
but,
you have
but
two
it was
of
like
them.
a special.
You could take both of them next time.
That's true.
You can't
Actually, he's got my eldest has got an opportunity. I think it's next summer. To go to Edinburgh with the theater company
For the Fringe Festival?
Yeah, but it depends on whether he wants.
I would
to
love to take the three of us to the
specify.
Fringe Festival and stay for like 3 weeks.
You want to take a one-man show, though?
Yeah, sure. I'd love to. But I mean, I'd love to just go back. I mean, that whole city not shuts down, but bars or things make way for venues to make a stage. The book you get of the guide is like this thick. Anything you want to see, anything is running.
Special
Whether it's Cambridge University or some avant-garde, in-your-face, fuck you theater from Germany, or whether it's ITA representing from Amsterdam, or it just, and all these things too. It's kind of like are getting tried out and shopped around. So you're seeing
it's a special time for live performance for sure.
It's the largest arts festival in the whole world. I mean, just anywhere you turn on the streets in Edinburgh is a dream.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful city.
It is a beautiful city, and I would love it for us to all go to the Fringe Festival.
So let's take the show to the Fringe Festival.
3 weeks, you say?
That means I got to finish writing it.
No, let's take this
I can
show.
take
This
3
show.
weeks.
Oh,
Imagine if we were that popular that we could actually go to.
Maybe we'd be
do
popular
live
over
shows.
there.
Maybe.
listen, hey, a lot of people more popular across the pond be like, they're still alive. Yeah, they're huge, and
We're huge in Germany.
I'll take that any day. I'd love that, right?
If we could just travel there and do shows.
Guten Tag.
Yeah, someday we'll do a
Guten
live show,
Tag.
right? We just have to market better. Well, anything else we want to add about travel? We did space travel. We didn't do time travel.
That's okay.
But that's for
we'll
another
fit that
time,
in
I
another
guess.
time. That's a big one. Time travel's a big one.
Okay.
I mean, do you marvel it where like you're just creating a new thread in the timeline?
I would want,
or do you Back to the Future it where things that you do in the past?
No.
can affect
No.
the
That's
future?
too
I mean,
dangerous.
That's
That's
the
too
big
dangerous.
question.
That's too dangerous.
But what if that's the truth?
Then we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
All right.
The time
Where
travel
we're
bridge.
going, we don't
Yeah.
need bridges.
I see what you did there. I see what you did.
Oh.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to the
He's
Last
gotta
Will
go.
podcast, right?
Yeah.
We actually got on topic. Oh, there we go.
Oh, that came early.
It did come early, but I think we'll take it.
Okay.
Bye.
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 So, what did we learn? Well, I think I learned this. I think I learned that it's time to put the Where Did We Learn segment to rest. Because who am I to say what we actually learned? I think it's up to you and what you heard and what you got out of it that makes more sense than me trying to direct us into something or trying to make a joke with something. So I don't think I'm going to do the What Did We Learn anymore. And I'm going to have to find a new ending. So if you guys have any suggestions of how we should end this podcast from now on, I am open to that suggestion. Anyways, thank you for listening to the Last Will podcast. If you like what you heard, please tell a friend and rate, review, and subscribe. That helps us out a whole bunch. And until next time, onward, forward.